switch around.
Gillum Jones is out. Can it get over the top of Anderson?
Get over
Cracks all
Anderson.
the way back in.
It
It
is.
does. And he's locked in, but what a goal!
Inundated. So popular.
Welcome to the 2019 Australian Men's Mixed Netball Championships Grand Final Day. Michael Hutchinson with you for AMNA TV. It's the 23 and under Grand Final. First up, Victoria against New South Wales. Alongside me for this one, former Australian and Victorian champion Guy Keane. Welcome.
Thank you. Looking forward to the day. It's the best day of the year.
Well, okay.
For me, anyway.
Off to an awkward start. Victoria have played New South Wales 3 times in the lead up to this event. Defeated them 46-43, 37-36 in a really close encounter in the last match of the minor rounds, and then managed an 11-goal win in the prelim final. Got off to a cracking start with the 17-7 opening term. Umpires just arriving, so there will be their customary check. Players will be announced to court, and then we'll be welcoming players to court for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2019 Australian Men's Mixed Netball Championships 23 and under Grand Final. The contest featuring Victoria and please welcome on court from New South Wales at goal shooter, Victor Nikolic.
So the two teams have been welcomed out on court now. For New South Wales, Victor Nikolic will start at goal shooter. Goal attack, Sam Glazebrook. Wing attack, Taylor Fraser. Centre, Callum Evans. Wing defence, Kobe Pearson. Jake McCann at goal defence and Jake Boydell at goalkeeper. Little change to that starting lineup that they've really started with all week, with Bryce and Fraser in the goal circle. But Victor Nikolic has been a strong target for them when he has been coming onto court, generally after half-time. A little more prolific than Stephen Bryce as well, and they have been finding him a little easier. So let's see how Victoria can counter that. Yeah, umpires for this game, Jake Shepherd and Belinda Hares, with the reserve, Dean Hurst. For Victoria, Daniel Loates will start at goal shooter. Josh Smith, goal attack. Jaden Cowling at wing attack. Adam Franz at centre. Anthony Maniapoto at wing defence. Goal defence, Luke Marco Rawlings, and goalkeeper Andrew Burgess. No surprises in that Victorian lineup for you, Guy?
No surprises there, and they, from all reports, got the job done in that first quarter in the semi-final against New South Wales. And good on New South Wales for juggling their starting lineup. It's a brave coaching move. Some coaches are a bit hesitant sometimes to juggle a starting seven, or it takes a bit of faith. So let's see what happens. They probably needed to do something if they started poorly. So they always know they can go back to that lineup if they need to. So,
and I guess that's the test also, untested with this starting lineup against the top side like Victoria. It could go one of either two ways. It could be brilliant.
Yep.
Or it could not be.
You're either a mastermind or you go, oh, was that the best decision I could have made? But also, Victoria may not have thought about that coming in. So their team analysis and their game plan might not have had this in mind.
Stand by now for the national anthem. So I'm kind of glad that didn't go to air. Couple of laughs as well, but the crowd full of voice, the players too, as they come into the middle to shake hands. The last time these two teams met in a grand final was 2016. The Australian Championships were also held in Melbourne that year. Victoria had beaten New South Wales on all three occasions, twice during the rounds and the major semi-final, and then ended up succumbing to New South Wales in a thrilling grand final, one of the best matches of the whole tournament. So Victoria will be out to make amends for that and grab a win on home soil. Victoria will start with the first centre pass through Adam Franz. And as we said in the opener, strong start from the Vics in the qualifying final. 17-7 they led at quarter time, so not surprising that New South Wales have opted to change their lineup. They had a strong outing against South Australia in the prelim final yesterday afternoon. Daniel Loates just off target with his first attempt. Josh Smith tried to mop up, just rimmed out. Lots of pressure being applied early from New South Wales.
Just a bit of a nervous start from both the goalers and also I think the two feeders as well. Just maybe forcing the ball in a couple of times, but good to see Loates finish off with the goal then.
56-20, New South Wales over South Australia in that prelim final. First ball into Nikolic. Likes it a little closer to the post. Fraser keeps it in. But only so far as throwing the ball out of court again. Burgess with the throw-in for Victoria. Hand from Nikolic. A stepping call on Maniapoto. Spoke to Victorian coach, former Australian Sonics captain, Victoria captain, Dan Cook, before the game. Said he was nervous. He was quite upfront about it.
Yeah.
Said a couple of boys were a bit nervous too.
I feel like you tend to get more nervous as a coach because really there's not a whole lot that you can do out there, particularly coming from a playing background. At least when you get out on court, you can get some of those nerves out.
Glazebrook, first shot for New South Wales is good. New South Wales holding up Victoria momentarily. They look to reset. Well done from Pearson. Good backup though from Lotes. Keeps the ball in Victorian hands. Smith gets his first. 2-1, 2 minutes gone. It's the 23 and under grand final. Victoria have won the last 3, I think. 5 of the last 6. There you go. Nikolic scores his first. So the Victorian 23 is looking for a three-peat today. Adam Franz deep in the pocket. Lotes calls for it. Good hands from Boydell.
New South Wales looks like they've really spoken about their defensive pressure coming into this game, because you can see everything has got hands over. Nice big tall hands over, forcing that ball up a little bit, which just gives their circle defenders a bit of a chance. So it gives McCann and Boydell just a bit of a chance to get hips and intercepts. It's just slowing the pace of the Victorians down, who do like to play with a bit of pace.
Screen open for Smith, not on. Callum Evans just sticks out the right arm. Glazebrook now. Evans, sorry. Good advantage played by the umpire. Like some free-flowing netball as Marco Rawlings has lost his shoe. New South Wales with the centre pass. Lots of pressure from the Vics.
Much better defensive pressure on that second phase. The first 2, New South Wales had been able to get a lot of depth with that, and then just a nice long vision down into the goalpost.
Yeah, Burgess had too many to cover there. New South Wales with an early lead now, 4-2.
And just look at this hands over pressure. Everyone's on their player. Everyone's doing their role in defence. Again, big tall hands over.
There'll be some sore and tired bodies out there today. It's been a long tournament. Great stuff from Boydell. Vic's just off the boil early. Fraser in the middle. Pearson. Had a great game against South Australia. Played some time in the circle as well. Smith. Victoria having to reset back to the transverse line. Smith now in the pocket. Flick pass over to Lotes. Boydell's had his hands to everything early.
Yeah, he really has, and so has McCann as well. And that's just coming off the back of some really great defensive pressure from Evans and Pearson out in front, and that's what you want in your centre wing defence. They're not necessarily going to get all the tips and deflections and intercepts, but if they can do that role for their teammates behind, might go a long way to them disrupting Victoria's front end.
Beautiful roll from Josh Smith. It'll be a confidence-boosting shot for him. 5.5 gone. 7 goals scored. Mania Porto comes through. Contact, says the umpire. Fraser. He's really split his time between goal attack and wing attack across the week. Probably hasn't been as prolific as he would have liked in front of goals.
Yeah, sometimes if he's not as successful underneath the post as maybe hasn't been this week, it's great for him to be able to jump out there into wing attack and still be an influencer down there. He's got a lot of experience through multiple years in New South Wales, as well as recently representing the Australian Sonics at the 20 and under competition in Adelaide last year. So yeah, it's good that he can still show that leadership down there in that front end.
It's his 8th Nationals, I believe. Only missed 1 year since he was 12 years old. Cowling centres it to Lotes. This looks a better setup from Victoria now. Good tip from Evans. Just offside on that contest. Lotes been asking for it early. Just a little hesitancy in the feeders from Victoria.
I feel like that's the better matchup when there's a mismatch with Lotes on McCann. That's the better option for the hold and placing that ball over the defender. Boydale's just got a little bit more height than Lotes, and I feel like he's got some good footwork to get around and cover that front position. So maybe he needs to get on the move, maybe chuck in a roll or a half roll just to get him off his body a little bit.
There's a great hands over pressure at the transverse line from Smith. And thought that came off Evans' hands, but it's a New South Wales throw in through Boydell. McCann.
Look to Victoria to try to turn this one back over with some strong defence so they can get back onto
Cowling with a hand to it.
level pegging.
Wanted someone to chase it for him. Oh, good turn from Glazebrook. Not afraid to go to the post, Sam Glazebrook. He's 3 from 4 to start this match. 6-4 to New South Wales.
Yeah, they've just become a little hesitant to give that ball to Lotes on the hold. That was better. He got out of space and then came back to the ball.
Smith now comfortable from that range. 6:30 left on the clock. Opening term, grand final day of the 2019 Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Championships. As Glazebrook just cooks that pass. And miscommunication from Victoria that time.
Great front hold and good take in there by Nikolic.
So the move to start Nikolic is working so far for New South Wales. Only scored 7 goals in the opening term of the qualifying final. Now they've got 7 already with over 5 minutes to go in this opening term of the grand final. So they'll be pleased with their output. Been able to hold Victoria to just 5 goals so far. Oh, both goalers just running into each other's lines. And Boydell. Big first quarter from Jake Boydell. Fraser.
Oh, just about everybody on this side of the court. Maybe just a bit of court balance and they...
Nikolic just rims out. Glazebrook mops up. So another break for New South Wales. The lead's 3. Evans stuck, almost a held ball. Finds Nikolic. Glazebrook just off target. Burgess. Marco Rawlings, haven't said his name much early, just through the hands of Cowling. Every ball contested. How did that ball get to Nikolic? 9-5 the score in favour of New South Wales. Franz on his lonesome.
Boydell again.
Marco Rawlings almost got a hand to it. He does now. Good backup from Mania Porto. I think Marco Rawlings has probably been one of the most consistent performers across all divisions this week. We've been really impressed with his output across multiple positions.
What have you liked about him? Has he won a lot of ball back, or has he just really played a tagging role, or a bit of both?
He's mixed it up. I think he's just been a great leader for the side. He's coming through with intercepts when they need it. He's talking a lot on court. He's been able to play. He even played wing attack at one stage as well during the week. I just think his leadership on court's been absolutely phenomenal and really lifted the side. Good pass from Evans. Nikolic just making it look easy at the minute. Just over 3 minutes remaining until the first break. New South Wales lead 10-6, and they have a chance to extend it now.
Victoria's front end at the moment are really reminding me of the Victorian Open team last night. They're really struggling at their centre pass in terms of having one strong lead over the line and the other one preparing for second phase. And they're just getting stuck on that transverse line. No one's punching through, taking on the game and getting through. And that's off the back of some great defensive pressure from New South Wales.
McCann goes long. Maniapoto in front of Fraser. Chance for Victoria now to get another on the board and reduce the deficit. Lotes out of the circle. Just not the right pass from Lotes into the pocket.
And this is what those early stops would have done for New South Wales. It just puts a bit of doubt in the Victorians' minds and they become a bit hesitant. And really, this is where you can see some fumbled balls, some misreading of the space for the goalers in there. They become a bit frantic.
Smith just offline. Pearson now. Evans. Fraser with an acre of space. A touch from Smith. Evans over the top.
So I'd love to see Jaden and Josh Smith here just work together a little bit at the centre pass, but again, they're working very individually. They're not looking like they're communicating enough on that centre pass. And it's forcing Victoria to have multiple passes in this centre third.
Cowling loses Pearson momentarily.
And there's that mismatch where it is starting to come off. So maybe Josh needs to just sweep that top of the circle, maybe draw Boydell off Lotes in there and then force that mismatch, or whether he gets that ball in that front space.
So Victoria draw one back and a throw in now to Victoria. But again, they're held up. Great pressure from New South Wales. Franz has to go back to the transverse line.
It's just really strong one-on-one defensive pressure, and that's what you want and expect at this level of netball at a championships.
So 20 seconds left on the clock. Smith's eyes down on that pass from Marco Rawlings. Evans just whips it. Great ball into Nikolic. And that hurts.
And a held ball just before the end of the quarter.
I don't think the umpire heard the buzzer. It went as she blew a whistle for a held ball, but New South Wales, a great lead, great first quarter in the 23 and under grand final. They lead Victoria 13-7.
umpire.com.au.
So New South Wales, a 13-7 lead, a complete reversal of the first quarter in the major semi-final. Masterstroke, it seems, thus far for Victor Nikolic to get the start at goal shooter. 9 from 10 in that opening term. Sam Glazebrook, 4 from 6 at 67%. For Victoria, though, accuracy and volume is down. Daniel Lotes, 4 from 5 at 80%. Josh Smith, 3 from 7 at 43%. So New South Wales having 4 more shots at goal, but enjoying far better accuracy, 81% to 58. And that was an incredibly strong start, Guy, across the court, particularly in their defensive end with the work from Boydell.
Yeah, really impressive start to the quarter, and I think the defensive pressure all down through the court as well. Even Fraser and Glazebrook coming down off the Victorian centre passes, building that pressure and helping out their big boys back there in McCann and Boydell. But super impressive with Boydell. He's just taken some risk, come off the body, got his hands to balls, which has just put a bit of doubt in the feeders' heads. So yeah, really, really strong. And the impressive thing is that they were turning the ball over and then getting it down and scoring off their gains, which Victoria still had 9 positive gains in that quarter. So defensively, they're still doing some good stuff out there. Just couldn't score off their turnover ball, and then 9 errors for themselves is just too many in a grand final. So they've got to rein that in a little bit.
New South Wales with the first centre pass of the second term. Early tip from Victoria. Early turnover. No changes to either side. Why would you if you're New South Wales?
Yeah, and even with Victoria, you'd probably look at maybe just settling them a little bit. Don't rush into any big decisions. It has been a team that's been successful during the week, so maybe just some nerves out there, and the big occasion has got to them a little bit, so maybe hopefully they can come out and just steady themselves this quarter. And they get the first one, so hopefully it's a good start for them.
Josh Smith, first goal of the second term for Victoria, and a chance to grab a second. Cut the lead again. McCann.
That was a poor choice of pass by Franz then. He really had to be disciplined to work that ball onto circle edge, maybe find a front option. They were very lucky to maintain that ball. And a no goal, I think that was kind of a step or held ball.
I believe it was a held ball. And off a Falcon.
Yeah.
Off McCann. That'll be turned into a GIF at some stage post-match, I'm sure. Strong from Lotes, but McCann came from the side. New South Wales, though, streaming into attack now through Fraser. Glazebrook, great speed from the goal attack. Just too much on it. Monia Porto now through the middle, plenty of space to Cowling.
Nice swing to the top of the circle, does it open, no, needs to swing it back. Josh Smith in that front position.
Nails it, does Josh Smith. Lifts his stats to 5 from 9.
And
Too
another
much
turnover.
Yeah, just misdirected from Fraser. I'm not sure who he was expecting to lead. Callum Evans came in for the contest. Advantage played, like to see that. Smith now. For 3 in a row for Victoria. Cuts the quarter time margin in half. It's now 3.
And isn't it interesting that now Josh Smith is using that front space in the attack end? It's really started to open up that goal circle for Victoria.
A little bit more confidence as well in his play.
Yep. And that's what happens when you start to let the ball go. You build the confidence within your team. I'm sure Dan Cook, being a goal attack specialist back in his day, maybe has hopefully had a bit of a chat to Josh at quarter time just to talk about his role in that goal circle.
3 minutes gone in the second term. First 4 goals to Victoria, all through Josh Smith, so he lifts his percentage significantly. Nikolic, contact on the arm from Marco Rawlings.
That was unlucky for Victoria then. I thought Burgess actually did really well in terms of just going straight up and just blocking the space for Nikolic to lay that one up. Victoria
now, a lot more space off the line for the Vics.
Yeah, and just a lot more speed. And then Josh, they're connecting really well down there now. They look like they're communicating more.
Setting screens for each other.
Yep.
Probably something the Vic Open team didn't do last night.
Maybe the 23s were listening to my commentary. And again, look at this defensive pressure, and it's resulted in another turnover. So they've lifted their work rate in both attack and defence, the Vic boys.
I don't know what Victoria took at quarter time, but it's worked.
It's now to New South Wales. They've got to refocus, got to get back into this game.
Bouncing in and around for Josh Smith. Margin back to 1. A couple of Vic Opens players in the crowd enjoying the comeback. Reset now through Marco Rawlings, directing traffic. Smith.
Just probably need to balance the court here. That was a nice pass back into the centre channel just to get off that sideline a little bit. Whoa.
Bit of a wrestle for the ball between Evans and Cowling. Smith.
Again, Smith in that front position. It's really starting to be effective down there. So New South Wales need to readjust their defence end down there. They need to have some footwork maybe to get to the front and force the ball back in the air, which is when they were feeling success.
A 7-1 start to the term. Victoria only managed 7 goals in the first 15 minutes. The second term, they've got it in less than 5.5 minutes. Taylor Fraser. Nikolic was open. New South Wales just a little frustrated now that they've let Victoria back in. Nikolic gives New South Wales the lead again. Injury, though, to Marco Rawlings. And Damon Marilouche. No, James Sutton coming on at goal defence. And he's straight off to the trainer, Marco Rawlings. So hopefully, and he's kicked his shoe off. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. James Sutton has played plenty of minutes this week, particularly at wing defence. Great front cut from Smith. Boydell got another hand to it. Hasn't had his hand to much ball so far in this second term. Victoria have been able to keep it out of his range. Smith passes off to Lotes, who gets his first.
You can probably just see in the background there on the table, you can see Marco Rawlings getting his ankle, I'm not going to say re-strapped because it doesn't look like he had them strapped to begin with. So for all those juniors out there listening, you need to make sure that you're either taping or bracing those ankles.
Another turnover to the Vics. Lotes just taking his time with the shot. Victoria grabbed the lead, 16-15. Just through the hands of Lotes on that occasion. Let's see this Victorian pressure in action again now. Been a complete reversal of the first term. Now it's Victoria with the hands over pressure and New South Wales making the mistakes. Glazebrook, no one to pass to.
Nice ball by Fraser.
Yeah, better timing there. Into the feed for Nikolic. New South Wales level it up. Will Burgess came out for an early look. Fraser flicks it. Contact from Burgess. Hasn't been many of those called.
Yeah, it was I don't like to use the word soft contact, but there was a bit of a soft contact there, and it actually ended up probably going out of court. So unlucky for the Victorian team there, but a bit of luck for the New South Wales to be able to score that one.
Reset now for Victoria. Having to do a lot of work to get free. Mania Porto now. Franz. Pearson keeps it in. No, he doesn't.
And this is where now this feels got a grand final feel about it. You know, both teams having to work really hard for some of their goals, apply lots of defensive pressure to turn the ball over. Great front cut there by Josh Smith, and he's really taken
Yeah, he just managed to
His
lose
game.
McCann on that occasion.
Yeah, he's just taking his game to another level, and look, to be honest, probably needed to for Victoria to get back into the lead.
So it's a throw-in actually to Victoria. Smith again.
Just a bit too big with that pass. Just needed a little bit of touch from Franz.
Doesn't matter which way they fall in, it still counts.
Exactly.
Bouncing in for Josh Smith. 17 all, 6 minutes remaining. Nikolic was home alone. Call that a Macaulay Culkin. Thank you, Sue Gordian, for that. Checks in the mail. Goal-for-goal contest here in the 23 and under grand final. It's what we have wanted all week. The scene has been set perfectly. Lote, will he go to the post? Just a tip on it from McCann. Probably not the right option.
Nah, look, I probably would have loved to see him maybe balk that. Then we had Franz actually come and open up this to our side of the commentary sideline. Swing the ball and then open up to the post for Josh. So just some triangles, maybe get some angles down there in attack. That's what's worked for them early in this quarter.
Oh, Sutton had to go, had to get down low. Glazebrook, his first attempt of the second quarter. Sorry, second is also a miss. Victoria with the throw in. Sutton waits for assistance. Maniapoto. Franz now. Smith out wide.
And linking back to Josh Smith.
Yeah, just keeping it short and sharp at the minute,
Yeah.
Victoria, as they edge their way to the circle.
Short there from Smith, and the contact call on Lote's got attempting the rebound.
So Victoria just not converting everything at the moment. It was a great comeback. Loads.
He did just take a little bit of a jump. The Victorian bench is not happy with that call, but if they saw what we saw, then I don't think they've got anything to complain about.
Glazebrook now. Fraser. Victoria just doing really well at cutting off the leads as well. Nikolic. Fraser had a look about going upwards, under, around. Eventually got it to Nikolic. The lead back out to 2 for New South Wales. They haven't enjoyed a lead this big for a while. Just too much on it from Glazebrook. Fraser wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, just some basic skills. Errors coming into that. Would have loved to seen him just turn his shoulders a little bit. He was body weight was back when he passed the ball, so just need to have that body weight coming forward. Very easy to say, harder to do.
Plenty of noise coming from the New South Wales crowd. Yesterday it was bin lids. Today it's chairs.
That was a much better ball delivery from Franz then. He waited to Boydell just to commit, and good timing from Lotes to go back and up for the ball.
3 minutes to go, sorry, to half time.
That's all right.
Victoria, chance to peg one back. 20-17, New South Wales lead Victoria in the 23 and under grand final. Just out of the hands of Smith. No call from the umpire. New South Wales mop up. Boydell. Intercept from Smith. An obstruction outside the circle. Franz just set himself really well. Moved around Evans to the top of the circle. Score for Victoria through Smith. Glazebrook. Little too easy for New South Wales. Nikolic with all the scoring in this quarter for New South Wales. 8 goals straight. Floats out of the circle now, and Smith heads straight into the circle. Franz. Smith again. How many times has he had a front cut uncontested in this quarter?
Yeah. McCann's just kind of, and just really allowing him that space. I mean, Josh is doing some good footwork to get to there, but yeah, just kind of, not doing enough work to force him away from the ball.
Just over a minute remaining until half-time. 22-19 to New South Wales. Gladesbrook just swats the ball out of Cowling's hands. Trying to hold up the clock, prevent Victoria from scoring again. Patient work from Smith to reset. So it was an offside call, penalty pass, or free pass inside the circle, rather. Smith just swats it back in.
And that's exactly why you don't get off the circle edge as a mid-quarter, even after the shot is taken.
So someone's asked for the ball to be wiped. There's not much time left on the clock. .25 seconds remaining is the call.
Probably a bit cheeky from the Victorian team manager to go and have a look at the score sheet then.
New South Wales with the restart. Fraser, plenty of time to score. Plenty of time for Victoria to score again too if they're good enough. Burgess hasn't come up with much ball in this second term, but he does that time. 10 seconds left on the clock. Sutton, Cowling, Smith, just slipped out of his fingers. And that is all the scoring there will be until the third term. It's half-time in the 23 and under grand final. You're watching the 2019 Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Championships. Victoria trailing New South Wales 22-20 at the main break.
Sally is your local netball administrator. She receives daily messages from her umpires on her phone and Facebook. Mary just messaged, and Craig, Sam and Jane. Struggling with managing umpire rosters like Sally? The time